Hey Cowboys Nation, there's stuff going on in the world of America's team that we just can't ignore. It's hot news, and we've even got a potential new guy on the way. All of this really messes with what we expect from this squad. And hey, stick with me because the last part is the kind of info that'll blow up your group chat. If you're all about that America's team life, you know the drill. Show some love and subscribe because we've got new Cowboys videos for you every single day. Smash that like button, too. This whole Tom Brady thing dropped like a bomb this week, and we can't just pretend it's not a big deal. The guy is going to be in the broadcast booth for Fox officially as a commentator for the Cowboys versus Bears game, but everyone knows the score. He's also a minority owner of the Raiders. And that's where the drama starts because both Dallas and Chicago are facing Vegas later this season. A lot of people have already raised their eyebrows saying this is a straight-up conflict of interest. To be fair, the coaches involved try to play it cool. The Bears head coach, Ben Johnson, said he doesn't plan on giving away any secrets to Brady, and he even joked that he's already in coach speak mode with the media. You know, that way of talking without really saying anything. On the Cowboys' side, Brian Schottenheimer went even further, saying he doesn't see any difference from when a player or coach leaves a team and takes information with them. In his view, everyone has access to everyone else's playbook. He even dropped a "I'll talk football with anyone" line that seemed pretty chill. But honestly, just between us, can we really treat it that lightly? We all know that information is gold in the NFL. Any little detail that leaks out can become an advantage. And the problem here isn't just Brady hearing some sideline chatter. It's him being able to take that knowledge back to the Raiders, a team with direct interests against us. Of course, the NFL was quick to try and calm everyone down, saying there's no rule against a minority owner being in the booth with a headset as long as they only use authorized equipment. But come on, that sounds a lot like the famous "it's all good," but it's not really. And it's not just a technical issue. There's also the symbolic side. Seeing the same guy who used to be the entire league's nightmare who now has a stake in a rival franchise commentating on our game from inside the booth. As a fan, I'm not going to lie, it makes me feel uneasy. And it's not just me. I've seen women fans commenting on social media too, saying it feels super weird. Imagine if it were Jerry Jones trying to commentate a Patriots game back when Dallas still had to face New England later on. It would have been a war. Sure, I get Schottenheimer's point. It's true that every team has connections to someone who's been in another locker room, and that always leads to a little info trading, but this situation is bigger. It's institutional. Brady isn't just an ex-player. He owns part of an active team. It's like opening an official window for the opponent to peek into our house. To wrap this up, I'll say this. Don't expect the NFL to change a thing right now. They're treating it like it's part of the game, but we, the fans, have to stay sharp because if something shady happens in a Cowboys versus Raiders game down the road, you already know where it came from and hold on to your seats, because the next piece of news hits right at a potential market move for our team. Check this out. What a wild one. A rumor popped up putting the Cowboys as a destination for Browns running back Jerome Ford. Yeah, you heard me right. And I'm just going to be real because this makes zero sense. We're seeing Dallas mentioned in basically every trade list that comes out, but this one was the kind that makes your head spin. The argument is that Ford has lost his spot in Cleveland. That maybe the team wants to get some value back before he becomes a free agent in 2026, and that Dallas could show up as interested. I get it from the Browns' side because the player's production has dipped. He only had 7 touches in the first game and then became more of a receiver than a runner in the second. Okay, it's normal for the franchise to try and find a trade partner, but let's look at our own backyard. Dallas's backfield isn't begging for help. Javonte Williams started the season on fire with over 150 yards and 3 TDs in just 2 weeks. And the best part, 4.6 yards per carry, a huge jump compared to what he was doing in Denver. That's some serious production. Besides him, we've got Miles Sanders delivering some good runs. And we still have Jaden Blue, who hasn't even played yet, but could give us exactly the kind of change of pace that Ford would offer. To be honest with you, if Jones spends resources on a running back right now, I'm going to be pissed because we have more serious holes like the secondary, which got schooled by Russell Wilson. That unit right there deserves attention before the trade deadline. Throwing draft capital or cap space at a backup RB would be turning our backs on a real need. And look, I'm not alone in this thinking. I've seen a lot of people, including women fans who follow the offense hard, questioning this idea of adding another piece where we already have 3 ready-to-go guys. It's one of those things. If it were an elite running back, okay, I'd stop and listen. But Jerome Ford, he's a good player, has speed, can break a few long runs, but nothing that would elevate the offense. In the end, it just feels like one of those market rumors that only exist because the name Cowboys gets clicks. The team is always thrown in as a possible destination for any player who's available just because Jerry Jones has shown he loves a bold move. But here, if he listens to the real fans, he'll pass on this and focus on what's actually needed. And hold on tight, because the next news isn't about some crazy rumor. It's about a major target that would make perfect sense for Dallas. This is the kind of talk that lights a fire under any Cowboys fan. Trey Hendrickson could become a trade target. Just thinking about it gives me chills because the guy is playing out of his mind and would fit this roster like a glove. The situation in Cincinnati opened the door. With Joe Burrow out for months, the Bengals might end up rethinking their season. And if the team doesn't have faith in their backup, Jake Browning, they might be willing to trade valuable veterans. Hendrickson is one of them. He's on a 1-year deal with nearly $30 million involved, and he still accounts for almost 10% of the Bengals' cap. That's a lot. Cincinnati even tried to stall with a restructure, but didn't want to give him a long extension. So, thinking about it cold and hard, it makes sense for them to cut the weight now and get something in return instead of losing the guy for free later. And he's not just any player, mind you. The guy leads the league in QB pressures. This early in the season, he's already got 2 sacks and a constant presence in the backfield. That's after missing most of the offseason because of a contract dispute. In other words, even without being in full rhythm, he came back and steamrolled people. Imagine him on a defensive line that already has Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and now Jadeveon Clowney. That would be one hell of a rotation. Almost unstoppable, and here's the kicker. Dallas has the money for it. We have $33 million in free cap space, a luxury that few contenders have. They already brought in Clowney on a super-friendly deal. But Clowney himself works better as a rotational piece coming in fresh to cause chaos. If you add Hendrickson, you guarantee an immediate impact starter and also extend the shelf life of the rest of the line. In a long season, that makes all the difference. To be honest, I think this is the move that separates a team that just wants to compete from a team that genuinely wants to fight for a Super Bowl. Because we know this, offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And with the secondary still struggling, the best way to protect our DBs is to speed up the clock in the opposing quarterback's head. Hendrickson would be exactly that missing piece. Of course, there will be a discussion about the cost. The Bengals aren't going to give him away cheap, but if Jerry Jones wants to show that this season is Allen, this is his chance. A package of draft picks, maybe even including a player who isn't performing, could open the door. And I'll say this, if Jones doesn't make this move and another contender gets Hendrickson, it's going to be a headache down the line. Imagine him ending up with the Eagles or 49ers. Just thinking about it makes my blood pressure spike. So here's the challenge. Would you go all in right now? I already have my answer. And don't go anywhere because the last bit of news hits right at the heart of our offense's protection. This last bit of news seems small, but it hits right at the heart of the offensive line. Cooper BB went to the IR after his ankle injury. We know how much that hurts. The guy was playing well, had a solid spot as a starter, and all of a sudden, Dak's protection is being questioned. To keep from being exposed, the team brought Wesley French to the practice squad. Now, hold on. He's not an impact name, not a star. French is one of those guys most people don't even recognize, but who can be super useful when things get tough. He spent 3 seasons with the Colts under the command of our current offensive coordinator, Clayton Adams. That familiarity counts for a lot. The guy already understands a good part of the system. He knows how the coach likes to run plays, so adapting shouldn't be a problem. In practice, he's not coming in to be a starter. The plan is to have him there as insurance while the versatility of the line holds things down until BB gets back. And that makes sense. Right now, Dallas still has pieces that can rotate, but as fans, we know that an injury on the offensive line is like a domino effect. One piece falls, and if there's no backup, the rest soon start to feel it. To be honest, I like this move. It's not glamorous, but it's smart. We've seen seasons go down the drain because the O-line fell apart in key moments. Bringing in someone who knows the system, who can hold his own for a game or two if needed, gives you peace of mind. It doesn't solve everything, of course, but it reduces risk. And I'd bet this, if French has to go in, he'll be more ready than some random rookie. And look how wild this is. French had already been with the Cowboys before as an undrafted free agent in 2022, but he was cut in the final round. Now fate has come full circle, and he's back right when we need an extra body. It's the kind of story that doesn't make the ESPN highlights, but we as fans know makes a difference. In the end, it's a reminder depth matters. While a lot of people only look at the big names, those who follow America's team every day understand that the roster is also held up by these quiet, smart choices. And in a long season, a silent reinforcement can be the key. To finish, I'll leave you with this. This series of moves shows a team that's aware of its weaknesses and is looking for solutions. It could be a line reinforcement. It could be an impact target like Hendrickson, but the message is clear. Dallas is active. They aren't sleeping. And now, hold on tight because in the conclusion, we're gonna tie all of this together and talk about what it really means for the Cowboys moment. You know that feeling that the team is always in the eye of the storm? Well, this week showed us exactly that. From the Brady drama to the crazy running back talk passing through the Hendrickson dream and the silent reinforcement on the O-line, everything puts Dallas in the center of the conversation. It's pressure, it's expectation, and it's America's team being America's team. And I'll say this with confidence. This group has a real chance at something big.